Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Once again, my name is Brandon and I make YouTube videos reacting to your favorite singers or shows or films or whatever from the perspective of performance, acting, directing, writing. I have a background in theater focused mostly in acting and directing, have sparse real world experience here and there as a performer, but mostly worked with other performers to help them learn to emote better, to help them learn to connect better both with their character and with the audience. So hopefully I can bring some of that experience into these reactions and give you something of value, something that you can enjoy and connect with, and maybe help you see these performances in a slightly different way. Today, we're looking at Angelica Hale singing Talking to the Moon, a Bruno Mars cover. This is another Jump the Line from David, a longtime supporter. David, thank you so much. There are times that I swear, David, that if it weren't for you with just a couple other people, and you know who you are as well, that I don't know that this channel would have survived. So thank you so much for all your support. It means the world to me from the bottom of my heart. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're enjoying what you're watching, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Check the description for my social media links, including a link to the Patreon, where you can find unaltered versions of these music reactions with no text overlay, without any cuts, without the audio being disrupted, as well as reactions to films and TV series over there, also uncut, unfiltered for you to enjoy. If you look down in the description, you'll also find down there a series of listings for Jump the Lines if you're interested in getting something reacted to quickly within a couple of weeks to the next just few days, depending on what you choose. Shoot me an email, let me know what you'd like me to react to, and we will work out the details between the two of us. But for now, we're going to just jump into this one. Again, this is Angelica Hale singing Talking to the Moon. According to David, this is what he considers to be her first self-produced music video.
I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away. I want you back. I want you back.
Lovely little subtle choices being made vocally.
I'm crazy, but they don't understand.
Beautiful.
You're all I had. You're all I had. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself.
Here it comes.
Talking to the moon, trying to get to you.
Subtle.
In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. Oh, am I a fool who sits alone, talking to the moon?
Lots of lovely choices being made here. Of course, the performance vocally is very subtle, it's very gentle. She's picking and choosing her spots to really come out connected and strong, and when to allow more breath and a little more fragility to come through. And I think it's a beautiful, beautiful choices being made. The person singing, the narrator, the singer, that person is feeling very vulnerable. So it's a very good choice. It's an appropriate choice to really be playing with pushing and pulling with how much chord closure, with how strong the vocal should be versus sort of how frail and fragile it should be. I'm really enjoying the set. It's obvious that they did this on a budget. They worked with what they had. The nice little touch of color with the red lace is really lovely. I'm liking the framing. Apparently, according to David, this is a video that the first video that he knows of, as far as I know, that her and her father essentially shot. And of course, the vocals and the backing vocals were arranged by Angelica herself. And then there's a young man, I've forgotten the name, but I will leave it in the description, what he told me about the performance down there, where he mentioned the young man's name. Somebody, I think the first name was Andy, who arranged the piano, the music, and performed it for her. So that's a lovely job. And apparently the reason this is so well synced, even though it was of course recorded here and then dubbed in a studio with a studio recording, apparently is because they put speakers out here where they were recording and played the studio performance so that Angelica could perform as closely to the studio performance as possible. I think she's doing a really great job. There are some things that you would definitely work on moving forward as a coach, as any kind of acting coach, performance coach, because there are little things that you could do to help her find a little more subtlety visually with her body, with her facial expressions. I'm sure if you've watched enough music reactions, you've heard music performance vocal coaches talk about starting at 10. You don't want to start at 10 because then you have nowhere to go vocally, right? You don't want to start just belting, screaming, and getting it just full on energy all the way to the top because you have no place to travel to. There are parallels to that in different kinds of performing arts. And one of the things that I've noticed since the beginning of this video is that she sort of started at this incredibly intense, incredibly pained place visually. Her facial expressions, her body language was wrenched in pain and passion and sort of this despair from the beginning. And I'm not singing much of a journey physically. It's there vocally. I'm hearing it. And if it were just on the radio, I wouldn't even notice. But it's just a thing that's happening, I think, because there's emphasis being put on embodying this emotion and doing it convincingly. As such a young artist, I think she's only 11 here. This would be a very difficult sort of emotional range to grasp for anybody. So I think that that's probably where the motivation is coming from. The intent is good, but there are things that could be done. There are techniques that could be taught. There were certainly could have been some reshoots and a few different takes had some things worked over during the shoot that could have allowed for a little more subtlety, a more gentle beginning, and a sort of journey, a rise in the emotional intensity. That's not something that I've noticed in her more recent recordings, so I don't have any doubt in my mind that those are things that were addressed. Those are things that she was learning, that she was going through, feeling them out, becoming the artist that she was meant to become. She's incredibly young here, so I just want to point that out for anybody out there who is wanting to be a performer, who is performing, who's studying performance art. There is such a thing as starting at 10 from an emotional place with your facial expressions, your body language. You want to make sure that there's some place to go, that there's a journey to be taken throughout the performance. And I'm not seeing a lot of that here, but I'll emphasize that in her later recordings and videos I've seen of her more recently taken, that's definitely there. Like, she has grown beyond this. These were essentially very sturdy stepping stones on her way to developing those skills. So this is great. I'm loving it so much. Her voice is beautiful. Let's just jump back into it.
Feeling like I'm famous, the talk of the town. They say I've gone mad.
I love her dress, by the way.
Yeah, I've gone mad. But
Beautiful.
they don't know what I know.
Love the slow-mo.
'Cause when the sun comes in,
Nice.
someone's talking back. Yeah, they're talking back. Oh. At night when the stars light up my room, I sit by myself.
Okay, harmonies.
Talking to the moon.
Beautiful. A little fuller, a little stronger.
Tryna get to you. In hopes you're on the other side, talking to me too. Am I a fool who sits alone, talking to the moon?
Oh, is that her little sister?
Every night, can you hear me calling?
Wow. Okay, no. So we're going to have to go back and hear that little section again. There's no, oh, and just so it happens, it's the most replayed section of the entire video. Who'd have guessed? I got to hear that one more time. But no, I think, was that her little sister? I'm wondering, in that silhouetted image there. I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. It was a really, really lovely image. The video is actually really good. I like it a lot. I wanted to mention that I said something right as this verse started, but I really love her dress. I think I've talked about it before with Angelica, that I really love how when she was younger and as she grew, they never shied away from the fact that she was young, that she was still just a child. They never tried to hide it. They never tried to make her grow up too fast, or they never tried to sexualize her too early. They allowed her to be her age. They allowed her to settle in that and really just sort of grow naturally, which I think if you do that, I can't speak to Angelica's situation personally because I don't know, but if you do that, if you allow a child to be a child, especially while developing skills and learning to exist in an industry like the music industry, you're setting them up with some really, really strong tools that can help them be comfortable being themselves, that can help to fend off some of the pressures that come along with this kind of industry, and that can get a lot of young artists in trouble as they grow. I hope that happened, and I hope that Angelica has developed a strong sense of who she is without having to look outside of herself for too much validation. And if so, I definitely believe that these kinds of choices, allowing her to wear a dress that is suited for someone her age, allowing her to be that person, certainly helped in that regard.
To the moon. Every night, can you hear me calling?
Nice. So beautiful.
'Cause every night I'm talking to the moon.
I think that's her little sister. That's her and her sister.
Get to
Oh God, why is that making me want to cry? While she just casually throws those notes around like that.
Talking to me too. Am I the fool who sits alone talking to the moon? I know you're somewhere out there, somewhere far away.
Okay. All right. So that was Angelica Hale singing Talking to the Moon when I believe she was 11 years old. It's beautifully performed. The only critique I would have of the arrangement was I thought the ending phrase musically, like the instrumentation, was a little full. I would have liked to have seen that thin out a little bit, but that's not my area. So I could be completely wrong, and feel free to call me an idiot and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about in the comments, because I don't. It's just something that I noticed. I think I was expecting it to thin out more and it just didn't. But vocally, it was absolutely beautiful. Some of those high notes were so gorgeous, seemed effortless. The visuals were really beautiful too. I think the music video as a whole was really well shot. I love the little splash of color with the lace, the interjecting images of her and her sister dancing, wearing matching outfits. It really moved me. That was so beautiful. Thank you, David, for recommending this one. I can't wait to get to the rest. There are 3 more coming this month, so you guys get ready for that. Thank you so much for being here. Please support this video. I've had a hard time getting some support for some of Angelica's stuff, some of her maybe lesser known performances. So do me a favor, if you enjoy Angelica Hale's performance, share this around, share it on message boards or fan sites or whatever to get some people to come watch this so that I can keep posting them on YouTube. Some of these went straight to Patreon, didn't even make it to YouTube last month. So I would love to put them on YouTube and keep them there. So please do share this around. Once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave me a comment in the comment section down below. Check the description for all my social media links, including a link to the Patreon, where if I did have to put a text overlay or alter some of the audio, or God forbid even cut it up, you will find the unaltered version of this video on my Patreon, as well as videos for any other artists that I've had to alter the video for on this channel. In addition to that, you'll also find reactions to series and films over there in their entirety on my Patreon. So if you have any interest in any of that, check out the different tiers. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Just for Support tier and send me a message, and I will do my best to help you find the right tier for you. Some people have expressed that it's a little confusing. I'm working on it, but I will definitely be more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much for being here once again. Please remember, as always, to be kind to each other, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.